Hello, welcome back to another Onyx Dude video. We are continuing our Under Night in Birth player interview series, and we are online with.
Hello, it's me, Noctis. Hope everybody's having a good day today.
Yeah, hopefully we're all doing good. It's post combo breaker. I know some people are feeling a little sad. I'm not sure how. Hopefully you're feeling good post CB.
I got some mixed feelings about it, but I'll dive a little bit more into that later.
Okay. So to start off with, I want to ask you, when did you start playing fighting games? Like, how long have you been? How long you've been at it?
How long have I been playing fighting games for? I'd say about kind of in the early 2013, 2014. I got introduced in my Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I'm going to be honest, I was not very good at it. It was very hard for me because the way I perceive fighting games sometimes, my ADHD runs at like 200 miles an hour. So with 3 characters on the screen, assists flying AB like all over the place, it was very hard to keep up. I started taking fighting games a little more seriously kind of in the 2016 when Killer Instinct first came out. And that was like my big breakthrough into like getting into fighting games and watching majors and stuff like that.
Okay, so you said KI, you activated my sleeper agent. Who'd you play KI?
I played 75% of the cast. It's easy to say who I didn't play. However, if I were to break it down to a couple characters, Xiao Jago, Thunder, Fulgore, and I'd probably say I was learning Arbiter when I stopped playing, so I'll chalk it up to those characters.
Okay, so you did play like 75% of the cast.
Yes.
Yeah. Fulgore's I love that character. Yeah, I was an Omen player. So, Alpha 3 and then, KI. How did you end up on Under Night?
So, okay. Sure you've heard the story a million times. Something BB tag, something Under Night looks really cool. And then conveniently enough, at the same local I was playing BB tag, there was somebody playing Under Night, and I was like, oh, these characters are cool. And I kind of the locals slowly started to walk away from BB tag and became more of like a traditional, traditional is a very broad term, so I'm going to be like, it was an Xrd local with Street Fighter and Under Night. That was like kind of like the main shtick. There was Street Fighter 5, Guilty Gear Xrd, and Under Night going on. This was ST obviously before, Strive, Unity 2, stuff like that. So it was mind-boggling playing a game with such deep mechanics and like a very loved roster the way it was. It was just it's hard to describe it if I were to be blunt, because it was such a different experience coming from like KI that was so all over the place and rambunctious and interaction coded to Under Night where it was night and day.
Okay, so you're all right with the heard a million times. So many other people I know, including myself, saw BB tag, saw Under Night, and they're like, oh, what's this game? Like, what is this? So yeah, that's cool. Especially getting to try the game at locals is always nice. So can you tell us, when you first picked up the game, who did you first end up playing?
So I'm gonna break a couple hearts here. Originally I was an Enkidu player. I started with Enkidu. I was playing at local, and I was like, I think I want to pick up Gordo. And I was like, I don't know, the execution barrier on the character looks a little harder compared to Enkidu. And he was like, don't be a pussy, just do it. And I go, okay, I'll do it. In the meanwhile, while I was looking at Gordo, I was looking at a plethora of other characters. I was looking at Merkaba, I was looking at Wagner, I was looking at Eltnum, I was looking at I was looking at so many characters at the time, but like I finally essentially settled down on Gordo, and I played Gordo well into the future of the game, until the recent introduction of Ogre.
Okay, so out of curiosity, what drew you to Ogre, and then what drew you to then play like Gordo, and then I just said on Ogre?
So if we're to start in chronological order here, what drew me to playing Gordeau is I played Gordeau on BB Tag. So I already had like some interest in what the character was doing and stuff like that. And then when I got my hands on him in Uni 2, or not in Uni L SC Clear, I had to stop playing BB Tag because the character was so vastly different. All different reversals, the way he trivialized one of the most important like aspects of Uni, which was defense, and his offense was so just powerful. And I love playing characters with strong offense that make crazy reads and do big damage. That is one thing I love about fighting games. I love watching that number go up. I know I have a very simple brain in that regard, but what drew me to playing Ogre was some of the things Gordeau did, Ogre did better. Alongside that, during like my first introduction to Uni and stuff like that, I was up in recovery from surgery. I had a knee surgery from a rough accident, so I was doing nothing but playing Chronicle mode. And so obviously, I was doing Gordeau's Chronicle mode, and Ogre showed up, and I was like, "This is the coolest character in the entirety of this roster. I do not care if he gets added to the game. I'm playing him." And I said this back before COVID, so that was like 2018. And everyone kept telling me, everyone kept looking at me and they go, "Oh, they're not adding Ogre to this game. There's no way on Guns N' Earth they're adding Ogre to this game."
Yeah,
and I said,
if
if Blaze Blue can do it, Komodo can do it. Like, you're the writer of the story. Come up with an excuse. Like,
yeah, it's pretty classic in fighting games. You see a character in the story, like Okunoe was in for Blaze Blue. I think she was introduced in Continuum Shift. And she got added in like the next big update, Chronophantasm. So it's always the classic of, this character shows up in the story. Good chance we're gonna see him in the game at some point, surely.
Yeah.
So
Vizzle.
I mean, Ogre is cool though. So tell me a little bit about your early experiences with the game, learning with Enkidu, then settling on Gord for a few years, learning how to play Gordeau. Like, tell me a little bit about that.
So it was a lot of me getting my ass beat. I'm just gonna say it straight up. Back in the day at the local, there's some like relatively good players, and then like I got introduced to everyone's favorite Linnae player, Miller 2B, White Beast. There's a couple other names. I don't know if they don't play Uni like that anymore. But like, I kept getting thrashed by Miller. It was bad. Every time at locals, I'd run into Miller and he'd beat my butt. 2-0. I don't even think he worked for it. It was bad. And I remember asking, I was like, who are some Enkidu players to watch? And at the time, that was Frosty the Swole Man. So that's how I kind of get to know him, got to eventually know him, was through learning and playing Enkidu, stuff like that. And then going from Enkidu to Gordeau felt like a breath of fresh air, because I wasn't like the best with understanding how Enkidu's like pressure worked and like pairing and like the repeat window and stuff like that. So having a very like ABC character was so nice. And he also had big buns. So I got to abuse spacing and stuff like that. And eventually I took my first tournament set off Miller with Gordeau. And I popped off so hard, I almost spiked my stick. I almost Sanford Kelly'd my stick. I was like the happiest human being in the world. Like there was no words to describe how happy I was in that pop off. Besides just like I almost spiked my stick. Like I was the happiest human being in the world. I felt like my work had like paid off into something.
Yeah, that's always it's always a good feeling, right? You finally get that moment where you're like, oh, thank God, I can finally beat this guy. So yeah, that's always nice. So, you talk about your local scene. Can you tell me a little bit more about like where your locals are and like the players that show up? Can we talk a little bit about that?
So, Michigan has a couple good handful of locals. We got Lansing, the Lansing local. Shoutouts to my wonderful folks over at Wave Dash Weeklies. They're mostly Third Strike, Tekken, and Guilty Gear, unironically. So they don't really play much Under Night compared to Detroit, however, where there's a lot of strong Under Night players there over in Detroit. We got Miller, we got Glacy, we got White Beast, we got Mocha, we got Zapoke. Like, the French bred player strength in Detroit is very strong. It's a handful. And then if you take an hour the opposite direction, you got Grand Rapids, where you got Tekken and Strive, but more of an Under Night focus over there. With you got Emma, AG42, Shin Akira, you know that. I'm pretty sure you know that name if you've been around the block a couple times with the Uni scene. Shin Akira. And then we got Ann Arbor, and they're kind of French bred heavy. They're mostly Melty Blood over there in Ann Arbor. So we have like a kind of diverse range of games, but I mostly stick to Lansing and Detroit because the Lansing local is only like 10 minutes from my house. The Detroit local was like an hour and 30. So it's kind of like a battle with gas prices right now.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, that's I think that's something we can all relate to. Those gas prices, man. But you know, anything for the locals, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, you know, you talk about your local scene. Can you tell me, you know, in regards to Ogre and like Gordo, which one do you consider your main right now? I mean, we all see the Ogre profile picture on the screen, but
yeah, it's a tough question. It's a very tough question. For the longest time, I considered Gordo to be my main, and then Ogre my sub. And then I swapped to Ogre my main, Gordo my sub. And then after this combo breaker, I had a very long debate with myself. I had a good sit down after talking to some honest folk, maybe some Onyx folk, almost like the person I'm talking with here. Ogre is my main going forward into the future. Because I've waited so long for this character. I love his play style. I love his buttons. His entire move list and move set is literally just him talking about how he's gonna beat the snot out of you. It's just the character is very good feeling. And the damage is super high. Bomb Oki is great. Every time you do his IW, how he's gotta fix his hair. He's gotta like push his hair back, even though it's like still perfectly nice and neat. He just has the urge to push it back. Like, stuff like that is sick. I love Gordo, don't get me wrong. My entire journey, for the most part, has been on Gordo. But if I'm glad to have any character take its place, I'm glad it's Ogre that I've waited so long for this character.
Yeah, I'm very glad actually. You know, I think a lot of people they kind of put themselves in the sunk cost fallacy. They say, well, you know, I've been playing Gore for years, so I shouldn't just give up on him. And it doesn't sound like you are, but you're kind of realizing, you know, you have been waiting for Ogre for all this time, so you should play the character you've been waiting for, right? This is your character. This is what you like. So, very, very refreshing to hear that. You know, and besides, you can always go back to Gordo.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. I'm playing Gordo if there's like a bat or like a Yuzu on the other side of the screen. But like other than that, like I'm playing Ogre except for those two. Like I'm not trying to fight Vat on Ogre. That's like his worst matchup, bar none. Like I'd rather do things that I can't say on camera right now. But like
that's crazy.
Yes, Gord into Vat and Yuzu, but Ogre into the rest.
Yeah, that's more than fair. So it's actually interesting. You mentioned like the sprite detail where Ogre like fixes his hair. So it kind of segues to a question I like asking is, you know, you came to Under Night for Enkidu, you stayed for Gordo, but like, what keeps you playing Under Night?
What keeps me playing Under Night? Well, there's a couple of different reasons. this one's a little bit of a longer answer, so I do apologize. For starters, I gotta say the community. I have never felt more loved and embraced by a community like the Under Night community. You know, I've been around the block with a couple of games here and there, but the Uni community, I've never seen a community come together for a cause the way they do. Like, helping out, like, I'm gonna go down a couple things. Helping with Red's medical situation, helping with Foxov's family situation during COVID. I believe there was some like housing issues. Just recently, helping Issei with their situation. Like, the French Break community just comes together at just like a drop of a hat and is willing to help. And like, it's beautiful. And also, I can't talk. It wasn't for the French Break community, I would not remember my girlfriend today. She makes me feel all good inside. And lastly, I'd have to say, Kimone can cook up a character. The designs in Under Night are just beautiful. They are breathtaking. Like, I sit down, I look at that roster, and I go, damn, there's so many good-looking characters in Uni. Even the basic characters look cool. Like, how can you make, like, boring-ass Aurier look sick doing all these flip, dips, and spires and shit? Like, those are the three things, though, that make you want to stay in the Uni community. Like, if anything.
That's a very answer. You know, I appreciate you, you know, highlighting the positive attitude that that the community has. You know, especially with helping each other. You know, we put the effort in to take care of our own. I know a lot of other scenes, you know, they would do the same, but I think any scene that is willing to do that, you know, it's always a nice way to like kind of be a cut above. A nice way to like hold ourselves to a higher standard, you know. So it was always nice to hear. So thank you for that, truly. So let's talk about goals or, you know, achievements. Do you have any goals with Under Night, or do you have any achievements that you already kind of hit with Uni?
So originally, one of my goals was I wanted to be the best Gordo NA. As somebody who plays their character, they want to be a cut above the rest of all the people who play that character. And over time, I kind of started to realize I don't want to be like the best with a character. I just want to be the best. I want to be the best at something. Either have the best combos, best defense. I want to be the best at something, right? I don't want to be the best of one thing. I want to be the best at everything I can be. And then over the years, I placed top 16 at multiple majors in clear. I placed top 16 twice at Combo Breaker and once at Con. In fact, there was one year, I lost to Jusuichi, and Jusuichi went on to being Noctis, which led to the infamous Mike Oxlong versus Jack Ingoff match.
Oh.
Yes, that was that Combo Breaker. That was almost me versus Silent if I made it over Noctis. But in the Uni 2, it's been really hard. Like, the scene right now is just powerful. There's so many good players. Like, fucking a good one that I like to say off the top of my head, Pierre, you just showed up out of thin air and has been beating ass. I know he didn't place where he probably wanted to at the CB this year, but the kid is remarkable. And then we got Tori as well. Tori placing top 48 at their first major. Words. Like, the Uni scene is only growing stronger, and it's motivating me as a player to get stronger. Next CB, I'm shooting for a medal. I'm shooting for a medal, or I'm shooting for the top. There's no in between. And whatever major I go to for the future, that is also going to be my goal as well.
Oh yeah, the competition has gotten a lot more fierce over the years. I've heard a lot of people sing the praises of both Tori and Pierre, but I think you can do it. You know, I think you got the stuff for it. So yeah, speaking of players like Pierre and Tori, I was gonna ask, is there any players that you think that are up and coming that we should try to keep our eyes on for the future of Uni 2?
Do I have any players in mind on the up and coming? I think the new generation is kind of interesting because I think the new generation is filled with silly goofballs that love the game, but that silliness is what propels them forward in a way, right? Like Emma, Art, Pierre, Tori. Those are some people I can think of that are like on the straight and narrow, trying to become the best in their own way. And I think that's very admirable, not trying to be like another player, but focusing on what makes you strong and you're becoming your own muse and pushing yourself. I think that is that's what makes me think they're going to be up and coming, because they're just fucking hitting the bricks. Like, there's no other words to it. Like, it's very motivating to see them come from out of thin air to jumping out of pools and beating notable players. Like, it's just a good feeling.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know I heard a lot of other people say Emma. Obviously I interviewed her at Frosty's. I think she has the potential. She beat Ju at one regional for the Midwest. I want to say I don't remember.
It was at Cap City Chaos.
Okay, yeah. So, I saw that. I was like, she's gonna go places. Even if it's not like this year, she's gonna be like in a year's time. We're gonna be like, Emma, might be someone rivals Omni. We'll see. Give some time.
Both claims, but I'm interested to see it.
Yeah, I don't. I know I'm kind of putting the bar high for her, but I think she can stand up to it. She's got a good mental. She has good work ethic. And like you said, she got that drive to keep pushing. So that's pretty important too. So a lot of people are very vocal about who they don't enjoy fighting in Uni as far as like characters. But I want to ask you, who are some characters, if any, that you enjoy fighting? You enjoy fighting in Uni 2?
I enjoy or dislike?
That you enjoy. You like fighting. The
Okay. This is going to be turned to a very different conversation really fast. Who I enjoy fighting in this game? God. Jesus. I enjoy fighting Merkava. Right? The reason, I think Merkava is really, fucking silly. As IW is goofy, Worms are goofy. Merc players just have, the funnest times doing the dumbest shit. Like doing dash up 2-2-C and just bonking them on the head. Just full palm to the top of their head. That kind of stuff is just funny to me. Stealth players can be really innovative with their dumb stuff.
So, just to clarify, do you enjoy when Merkava runs up?
Does dash up 2-2-C? Yes, gonna hit somebody. It's just hilarious.
Okay.
I generally think it's hilarious because it's the slowest overhead in the world, and they just get smacked by it. And then grid breaks. That's hilarious. I don't know what else to say. I could say a lot of it's more player than character. It's kind of hard to sit down and say I enjoy fighting X character over Y character, because there's a lot of fun characters to fight in this game, but I also dislike a lot of characters.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
There's a lot of starts with an L, rhymes with Rene, rhymes with Rene, rhymes with Rene, rhymes with Rene. I hate fighting Rene. I despise
you will be on a very long line of people who also don't like her fighting her.
Fucking look, I love Revert to death. I'm not gonna say I don't, Revert's a hilarious dude. He's great. But fuck Linne. By God, do I hate that character. Linne... You see how much hair I have on this dude, right? Linne makes you want to shave my head.
That's crazy. That's a crazy statement.
I hate Linne. Like, I'm on my hands and knees begging Kimone to, like, kneecap this character. Like, if no other character gets touched, cool. If Linne gets touched, that's all I ask. Like,
Okay. Well, well, we can always wait for the wait summer patch, but since we're on the topic, do you have any changes, positive or negative, that you are hoping to see for the next update for Night?
So I share the opinion of some of the other players that like things that would put players in the situation getting nerfed instead of the thing itself getting nerfed, right? Like, damage and meter getting nerfed or like whatever, but like, for example, Hyde does a throw combo with 200 meter, optimizes it for like 4K, right? The scaling of a throw combo should not lead to 4K even with 200 meter. I do not care. With how strong throw is in this game right now, that should not lead to such damage. And like, it's not even like Hyde is like the main culprit. There's a lot of characters with throw combos that either A, shouldn't have a throw combo, or B, the throw combo should get toned down, right? Izumi. But I think
you still play Gordo.
Yeah, I know. That's fair. No, that's fair. If Gordo throw combo has to get shot for the health of the game, I'm for it. I'm cool with it.
That's real. I respect that. I respect that.
If Cycle Control gets shot for combo throw for the sake of other characters, and Gordo gets hit by a stray bullet, that's okay with me too. I think the strength of tools leading to situations versus the tool itself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
like not.
Yeah, I get you. It's the guy who did the bouncing for KI, kind of put it in a way where it's like it's not the what is it? It's like the symptom rather than the cause.
Yes.
It's a very smart way of balancing. Because you don't, if you just kill the symptom, then it doesn't really. I mean, it could just the move, but if you just shoot the move itself, then you kind of just tearing down the character for like no reason. You kind of just leave him broken.
Yeah, so it's like things like that, and like if meter gets hit, I won't even be upset if meter gets hit because like there's some very ignorant like meter situations in the game right now. I won't even lie. As an ogre player and doing bomb ender and then running up and doing EX bomb to put them in an unblockable situation, hey, it's not healthy for the game.
That's crazy.
There's just a lot of situations that are kind of unhealthy for the game, and I hope they like get toned down. Or if they don't, for some godforsaken reason, no idea why they wouldn't. I hope that some of the weaker characters get that love. I was talking to Akimi about this, right? After her victory over Big Black, which was a jaw dropper, showing how strong of a player she is. I told her, I looked her dead in the eyes, I go, you might have inadvertently prevented the Mika boss from happening next match. We laughed about it a little bit. But there's some characters I think need that love, right? Like, if some of those stronger characters don't get hit, which would break my heart, I hope, if anything, the weaker characters get brought up to that strength. Right? There's weird, balance fallacies where if you leave the strong as it is, but bring the weak up, it doesn't fix anything, but it alleviates some issues until there's, a real patch, right? And with this next patch, we're getting a real patch. So, here's the, hoping Kimone addresses some things and looks at some of the issues. One thing I think that needs to get reworked is, speaking of the devil, Linne dash speed.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. I think the worst thing they started doing was they'd give the developer notes why we're doing this, And Locomone's logic was, well, she named the Speed Star, make her faster. Like, no, stop doing that.
Oh, no, like you have a character with one of the best strike throws in the entire game, more speed to strike throw. Like, come on, what are we on about?
Yeah, so
like
very interesting.
I think characters being balanced around their mechanic or their gimmick is something Kone needs to like drop the hammer on. Like Izumi shouldn't be able to throw combo if there's no bubble. Lene shouldn't be that fast. You know what? Lene can be fast only if she dash cancels off her fireball. That's my only logic here. That's her special mechanic balancer around it. I don't know, but that's my 2 cents on what I'm looking forward to this patch for sure.
Right. Yeah, so we're coming up to the end here. The only other question to ask is, do you have any shout outs you want to give anyone or any group of people?
Actually, a couple. So first off, shout out to Demon Shrine, Chalk Demon. You know who, and his little group, his little band of hooligans. Y'all know who you are. Kama Home. Some of the strongest players in the internet community reside there, and some of my best friends. I couldn't ask for a better community to grow as a player and grow as a person. NEFB, you know, we love our NEFB. Shouts to Draymore. Draymore made Combo Breaker possible in terms of drinks and stuff like that. So I appreciate Draymore and Yokai. They're fantastic human beings. And shouts to fucking Yokai for getting second in DFCI. Bro killed it that weekend.
Yeah, he was kind of doing his thing.
Yeah, he was cooking. Yeah, shouts to you for doing this for me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I always gotta show love to the host, regardless of what it is. And jeez, I can say shout outs to like Lufa's Discord, a bunch of cool cats there, if you would. Some enjoyable people to be around. And then also, I guess last but not least, shout outs to my girlfriends. Love that woman to death. And the Earner Discord, which is our little deadlock Discord that she kind of dragged me into with some of her friends. So hey, you know, I'd be playing Deadlock.
Okay. Well, thank you, Noctis, for having this interview with me. Thank you for taking the time out of your day, chat with me. This was very, very fun. Always a pleasure conversate with you.
Absolutely.
And thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll have more on the night player interviews in the future, but for now, I'll see you later.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.